Hey there, people. Welcome back to Spray Love. And today we are going to talk about Sauvage Eau Forte. I've seen a lot of people call it Eau Forte, but it's Eau Forte because it's a French words. But anyway, I digress. Let's talk about the fragrance. This is the first fragrance that is creatively directed by Francis Kurkdjian, since he came and became the master in-house perfumer at Dior. And it was quite a letdown, in my opinion. I do believe maybe it sells. Maybe it sells. It is a fragrance that is without alcohol, so it's a water-based fragrance, and generally speaking, water-based fragrances are the technology is not there yet. Let's just say, most of the time they are kind of very sticky. This one is not an exception. It is white and sticky, so uh, it has like a kind of a milky texture, and it just sticks to the skin a lot. And this fragrance is not at all like the other Sauvage fragrances. So sometimes people say that the elixir version of Sauvage is like very different or too much different from the rest of the Sauvage fragrances. I do believe that elixir is still in the same continuum as Sauvage and has the same kind of goals and ambition as Sauvage. And for that reason, I give it a pass because it is true that there is kind of a gap between Sauvage Parfum and Elixir, but it still follows the same rules. It still goes for the same thing. It is like a powerhouse fragrance and like etc. etc. You know the drill, but Eau Forte, um, this new flanker is kind of a piney green fragrance that smells extremely cheap. So that is my main takeaway, is that it smells like a cheap pine fragrance. And you'll see there's a lot of cheap pine fragrances out there. The Ambroxan is, I mean, I do believe it's still there. I couldn't believe they left like out the Ambroxan in Sauvage fragrances. It's kind of the main point of those fragrances. Uh, but it doesn't really get anywhere, and it's very green. Uh, it's very woodsy green with herbal stuff. It's not a Sauvage fragrance, you know. It is not even. It's not even like a in the same ballpark as Polo, the original, like Polo Green. It is not even going there. It's not like a throwback. We're doing like the oak moss thing again. I love the oak moss thing. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's just like they're not even aiming for that. They're kind of aiming for like a type of fragrance that I would only associate with cheaper, you know, drug like drugstore fragrances. That is mostly what I get with that fragrance. It's like it kind of feels like um aftershave, uh but less interesting, like more bland. And I just can't wrap my head around it. I like most of the time when you see like there's a lot of people that are like, oh, this fragrance is not good or whatever. There's a lot of fragrance influencers that went to say that about Sauvage Eau Forte, and uh, yeah, I must agree. I am one of those people. When my initial spray that I did on the tester strip, I smelled it and I laughed. I was like, this is this is a joke, right? This is not like a Sauvage fragrance. This is not Dior quality. What is that? And then I sprayed some on, and it was sticky and weird, and oh, like thankfully it didn't last very long, but it kind of smelled like a My first fragrance type of fragrance, something that you bought for like $15 at like a local drugstore, and I wasn't really happy with that with what I was smelling. It's not bad. It's just so bland and kind of miserable, and it lasts like an hour, maybe two. And I'm someone who like fragrances last a long time on me. So whenever I see someone who's like, "Oh, this fragrance is not good. It lasts 4 hours on skin." On me, it's always like 8 hours. So this one was like, I can't smell it anymore, and it's been like an hour or two. So yeah, it's not a good fragrance in my opinion. I think it's cheap smelling, but not like in a very very bad way. It's just there's not much going on. It's pleasant, but it's nothing impressive. It's absolutely not worth the price. Um, it was a bad idea to do a water-based fragrance for Dior, as right now the technology is just not there to help them, it seems. And that's pretty much what I have to say. I would say that this one is a huge contender for the worst release of the year, especially because it is Francis Kurkdjian for Dior. So it's like a big name perfumer with a big name fashion brand, and uh, they've done tremendous fragrances over the years. Dior, their best selling fragrances. Sauvage line is the best selling fragrance since like 10 years, and that was a huge letdown for me, and I think that it is for a lot of people. Still go and check it out. Maybe you'll like that, but I'm really like sincerely unconvinced of this proposition by Dior, and I do hope that they rectify it with some really good fragrances, creatively directed by Francis Kurkdjian, he's a great perfumer. He's brought us so many great things, and but I think this one was kind of a down. So anyway, what do you think about it? That is the most important. Comment in the comment section below, and don't forget to spread love and spray love. Bye bye.